confirmed receiving government's notice of withdrawal from the International Criminal Court. This follows the announcement by Justice Minister Michael Masuta on Friday that government has officially started the process of withdrawing from the ICC. National Assembly Speaker Baleka Mbete and NCOP Chairperson Thandi Modise received Masuta's correspondence yesterday. The communication informed Parliament about a cabinet decision to withdraw South Africa from the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. According to Parliament, the Justice Minister has also requested for an opportunity to explain the decision to members of the National Assembly. The institution says the matter will be handled in accordance with due parliamentary processes and through the relevant structures in the institution. Meanwhile, the United Nations Secretary General has expressed regret at South Africa's intention to withdraw from the Rome Statute.
I can confirm that the letter has been received and is being processed by the Department of Legal Affairs. And I would say that the Secretary General does regret the decision by the government of South Africa. Over the last 2 decades, the world has made enormous strides towards the development of a global system of international criminal justice with the ICC at its core. And the Secretary General also recalls the significant role played by South Africa in the establishment of the Rome Statutes and the ICC, with in fact South Africa being one of the first countries to sign on to the Rome Statutes.
Meanwhile, international organizations have slammed Pretoria's decision to quit the ICC. Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch criticized the government decision. The Global Center for the Responsibility to Protect has described South Africa's decision to withdraw from the Rome Statute and International Criminal Court as a great victory for injustice and impunity.
The UN has now confirmed receipt of this letter, indicating they're processing it likely before an official statement is released. Others didn't require as much time to choose their words in reaction to South Africa's decision.
When Rwanda happened in 1994, at the exact same time, of course, that South Africa was going through its transition to democracy, the most commonly said thing to people like me who was living in South Africa in the aftermath of that was the world doesn't care about African victims. The world does not care about this remote corner of the world. So for me, an ICC that takes African victims seriously, that looks at these situations seriously and says that a villager in Darfur or somebody in Burundi or somebody in the Central African Republic has as much right to international justice as somebody living in some rich white Western country, that was a positive step forward.
The government has long argued that at times there's a direct conflict between the pursuit of peace and the pursuit of justice and accountability. Adams believes the arrest of Sudan's President Omar al-Bashir in Johannesburg last year would not have made the situation in Darfur any worse.
I'm not naive enough to think that the arrest of one individual will make all the difference to what is obviously a complex, long-standing and very difficult conflict in somewhere like Darfur. But I do believe very sincerely and deeply that one of the problems in Darfur is a culture of impunity. And we've seen that over the last period where the Sudanese government has been now using chemical weapons against people in Darfur. Why? Because of the climate of impunity that's been created, that he can now travel where he likes. He can travel to Johannesburg, go to the Sandton Mall, do some shopping, and not have to worry about the fact that he might end up in handcuffs in The Hague.
He reiterated the point that the ICC remained a court of last resort where domestic jurisdictions were unable to pursue justice, arguing that of the 9 African cases before the court, 6 were referred by governments themselves. Brye-Pease, SABC News, New York.